Next stop, Ryan Horse, Delawanda Park and Ride.
So this is the Delawanda Park and Ride. Nothing much interesting about this. The connections to it is the 102, 33, and the 2. Not much interesting about this, but they do have quite a crowd over here.
Next stop, Renner Road Park and Ride.
Alright guys, we're at Renner Road Park and Ride. And there's a lot of cool things about this. For one, this is also on the side of the road. And this directly is served by the routes 5 and the 71 Rush Hour Express. But what's mainly cool about this is it still has a very old cota sign. Now I think this is extremely awesome, because this is a very huge remnant from the previous livery, if that's what you want to call it. But the only jacked up thing about this is that this is where the bus parks, and the shelter is right here. That's kind of jacked up in the wintertime, but the layover itself, it's pretty nice because it's located right next to a Goodwill, a Meijer, and right up the road is a McDonald's, and as you can see, Panera, but there's a whole bunch of things. And right up the road, you can also kind of consider this Parker Ride served by the 21, since it goes kind of next to it-ish. But great Parker Ride overall.
Next stop, Reynoldsburg Park and Ride.
Guys, it is approximately 8:05 out here, and we are at the Reynoldsburg Park and Ride, as you can see here. There was 2 buses here, this one that I'm on, and then Peach pulled off. It is pretty dark here at night, of course. That's kind of stupid. But it is a huge parking lot over here. There's a supervisor sitting right over there. And not much over here, but as you can see, it is clearly on the side of the road basically, but it's just a huge loop around. And pretty cool park and ride. Connection to it is of course the 1, and you can't really see it, but the 51 comes here too. And yeah, great park and ride. Alright guys, so we are at Canal Winchester Park and Ride now. Pretty long ride up here, but I don't really know exactly when this park and ride opened. It was just randomly built here. But this is directly served by the 25 and the 52 Canal Winchester Express. And it's a pretty big parking lot. It has a lot of the modern upgrades, like how the Grove City Park and Ride does, where it has the charging stations, but it's a pretty weird place because there's a freaking porta potty here. But it was built directly outside of another gas station, and I could see that this place is called Friends or something like that. It's a pretty weird sight to see though, because it's like literally placed like right in the middle of a freaking neighborhood. So whenever you're here, if you look like distantly enough, you'll actually see a former cota mainstream. I can't really see what number unit it is, but it's pretty interesting. It's pretty much walking distance from a Sheetz right up the street, which I go to every time I come out here. I was gonna stop here now, but I'm not that freaking mood. I don't know. But pretty great park and ride, and now on to the next one. So this is Barnett Park and Ride. Ain't much to say about this, but I think it's cool how it's conveniently placed right next to the under construction Columbus Library. Alright guys, so we're at the Grove City Park and Ride. This is the bus I just got off of, 1617. And this park and ride has some pretty cool features to it. As you can see over there, it's a pretty older cota sign, not too much older, but it is older. There's a bunch of electric charging stations for cars. And this park and ride is directly served by 61. And the 3 basically goes on side of it, so you can consider that as another route. While Cota Plus, they move through here. And this is pretty much cool. Pretty big parking lot. Pretty much a lot of parking spaces. But this is a cool parking ride, as I keep saying. So this is Delawanda Park and Ride. Pretty interesting park and ride. I like the detail on the bus stop, because it's decorated with the zoo bus. For the fact this is served by the zoo bus and the 73 and the Dublin circulator, which is not really very interesting, but it's pretty dang cool. And I like how it has 2003 on the window as for the bus wrap, showing the zoo bus. It's interesting. Alright, so we are at the O.T Antics park and ride. I in real life really couldn't really record audio because I can really get out the car, but this is a pretty small little park and ride. All it is just really a complex of sports. I really couldn't get out because there was cars over there, but this is served by the 74, which is pretty interesting. I really couldn't come out here and check this out on the 74 because it only comes once in the morning and once in the evening. But it's a pretty cool little park and ride. Alright, we're on what might be my new favorite park and ride here at Cota, because this is awesome. This is Greg's Dam park and ride. This is legitimately awesome. Like, y'all gotta see this, bro. This park ride was legit placed on the side of the road, like literally in the middle of a metro park, right next to the water. And legit, whenever I say it was placed on the side of the road, I mean it was quite literally placed on the side of the road, as you can see right here. This stop is also served by the 73 and the zoo bus, along with the 32 and 75. You can't all the way consider this a park and ride for the fact that you can only park in a few spots just for the park and ride at Cota, and it's pretty goofy in my honest opinion. On the day of me recording this, it was pretty much during sunset, so enjoy the small little clip of the stroll that I took there. Northern Lights Park and Ride, a park and ride that opened in Northern Lights Shopping Center along the side of Cleveland Avenue. Originally this was located in the heart of the Northern Lights Shopping Center. Before TSR happened, this whole shopping center park and ride was originally served by the routes the 1, the 9, the 27, the 35, the 37, the 83, and the 87. Quite a handful of drivers had a problem with this park and ride for the fact that there will be passengers at your door asking you, bombarding you with questions such as what time you leave out of here and other kind of crap. Aside from that though, all the routes that I listed a few minutes ago or a few seconds ago, all these routes served this park and ride up until May 2017. In May 2017, TSR happened, and now the park and ride moved up the street. It was served by the 6 Cleveland Sullivan route, now known as the 6 Sullivan only. On New Year's Day 2018, a new route would hit Cleveland Avenue, now serving the Northern Lights Park and Ride. This route now directly serves the new Northern Lights Park and Ride. Around 2021, the 6 would now be removed from Cleveland Avenue, making the C-Max the only route up and down Cleveland Avenue. So here's my visit to the new Northern Lights Park and Ride just to see what I think of it, because, well, I saw the old one back when it opened.
Next stop, Cleveland and Northern Lights Park and Ride.
So I made it here. Yeah, if you could see my face right now, which I'm not going to show, I'm in disbelief, because this is nothing compared to the old park and ride. This new one is just trash. I mean, it has the newer upgrades like the charging stations, like always. Goofy porta potty, but this wrap on the window I do not like. But this is directly served by, as I said a little bit ago, C-Max. And like as I was walking over here, a C-Max flew by, so now I gotta wait for the next one, unfortunately. But this is a mid park and ride. I mean, I can't really say I like this one, but the older one was a lot better because it was like we're literally in the park and ride. This doesn't really make sense. This is just the side of road of Cleveland as it shows. Well, as it should show. It's cool, all these C-Max stops got the they got the map on it and what which routes served it, but you can't hardly see because somebody looks like Weezer all over it. I don't know. And this shows like how long until the next buses get here, but it's not accurate. That's what sucks about this. This wrap on the window I'm not really a big fan of, but it's pretty cool representing Clinton Township, which is what this Parker ride is in basically. Which is another one across the street if you want to call that the Parker ride as well. But I gotta say, this is one of my least favorite Parker rides. It's kind of trash because the other one was a whole lot better, but I'll try to get video of the older one quite later.
Alright, here go the Southampton Parker ride. Ain't much interesting about this one, but it's directly served by the 10. But all I'll say is this one's placed like directly in the middle of a neighborhood that I've never seen. I'm guessing this is like Franklinton, but it's an alright Parker ride. Westwood's Parker ride. This Parker ride I can't all the way call a Parker ride since all it is just in the middle of the like a Wendy's parking lot, like quite literally. I mean, it's a pretty cool Parker ride, alright. This one served by the 21, the 9, and the 10. It's an alright Parker ride, but not one of my favorites. But when I was recording this, there go 1509 sitting right there. Not too much interesting about that, but this Parker ride's a pretty cool one. Alright, here's the New Albany Parker ride. This one's pretty interesting. Now, what was funny is that the day I recorded this, I was talking about which lines served there, and as I was there, all of them pulled up at the same time. Now, this Parker ride is served by the 35 and the 45, and these things called the Smart Ride red and blue lines, known as the 201 and the 202. Now, these things don't really use like cota buses, but they use like small little mini buses, pretty similar to the airports. This right here is the bus they used on the blue line there. Not even a few minutes later after I recorded that clip, the freaking red line pulled up, which is a different type of bus model, but this is pretty weird how they both pulled up. Of course, just a little bit later, the cota 45 pulls up, and that was pretty interesting. Of course, last my bus had to pull up, which 1327 bus about the time. Of course.
Alright guys, second before last Parker ride. We're at the Crosswoods Parker ride. It's served by 41 and 102. It used to be served by the Delaware County Transit, also known as Delco, because there's a shelter over there for it, as you can see. And it almost has like the modern upgrades like the other Parker rides with the electric charging stations visibly over there. Pretty interesting. But this is a pretty cool Parker ride. Yeah. Alright guys, here's Westerville Parker ride. The second before last Parker ride I record. This is directly served by 43, and I like how this one's shaped. It's like a big circle, like a big roundabout. I'm also being very careful recording this because there go beehive right there in the tree. I don't want to get stung because that crap hurts. But pretty cool Parker ride so far. I remember coming here for the first time on my very last day of school earlier this year, and it was a far walk from Cleveland Avenue all the way to over here, but I still think it was a pretty scenic walk, pretty cold walk. It's connected to some kind of place, but this is also along the side of Main Street, and there's a bridge over there that actually connects to the Alum Creek, which is pretty cool. Pretty scenic too though. Pretty big hill. But on my walk over to Cleveland Avenue now, so I guess on to the next Parker ride. Alright, final parker ride. Gahanna Parker Ride, Royal Plaza. And, ain't really parker ride because I just now found out that a lot of them are just leave. I forgot to mention that this is also served by the 46 East. But, we're parker ride. It's just located on the side of Agler Road. This is still here. I don't know who the frick had this. And this is all it is though, just in the middle of a plaza. Pretty cool, but yeah, this is the end of it. The parker ride video. So thanks for watching, I guess. I don't know how to end the video, but okay. Thank you.